Dear Mr. President, as you well know, along with any president in our nation's history, not every policy change, legislative discussion, or verbal commentary is going to be fully agreed upon by America or the globe. And you've done a lot of good for our nation and its citizens, both in your last term and current term as president. However, your comments about the beef industry raises not only concern, but also is very disheartening for many people in agriculture who voted for you. Your suggestion of importation of foreign beef to help alleviate consumer retail costs is not a long-term solution, and what might be seen as even a temporary fix could have long-standing negative impacts on the beef industry. The U.S. beef industry, an industry I am proud to say, is the most sustainable and the safest beef product in the entire world. I own a company that travels internationally, learning about management methods, resources, and policies in different countries across the globe. So I can confidently say that the consumer in America has nothing to worry about when they go to a local grocery store and buy beef. To give some perspective, a beef animal is not a short-term production process. Unlike the pork and poultry industry, it takes years for us to get that animal from birth to a reproductive stage, usually being around 3 years of age. In addition, it takes anywhere between 13 to 15 months to get that animal from birth to the plate. Not a short-term process by any means. And now that you understand the timeline, let's look on how we got here and why prices for consumers are high. In 2022 and 2023, we experienced a significant drought, arguably one of the worst, and at least in my time, that we've seen in history. Now, not only could we not afford to feed cattle, but many of us didn't even have water to hydrate our cattle, which resulted in the complete dispersal of herds across the nation, many of which were seen in the central and western part of the United States. Before that, we did have the supplementation of imported live cattle coming in from Mexico. But now with the threat of the New World screwworm, we've had that border shut down of these live imports, cutting off a major supply and assistance in beef animal numbers. Mr. President, I can't imagine the pressure that you must feel knowing that every word you say and every letter that you type has a significant weight seen and felt across the globe. An off-the-cuff interview answer is one thing, but to insult an entire industry on social media posts has left many of us in the ag industry feeling not only unheard and concerned, but even some outraged. Part of your campaign this last term was signing tractors in rural parts of Iowa, and now the industry has felt that you've turned your back on us, even if that wasn't the intention. Your proposition of importing more foreign beef is not the answer, and it's not going to fix the issue for consumers or producers. And despite what some political groups might say, you cannot change biology nor the time clock of that biology. In the United States, we spend less of our income dollar percentage on food products than most countries across the world, even first world countries. In fact, our percent dollar of our income spent on beef is the same today as it was in 1975. And considering our input costs have significantly grown between fertilizer, labor costs, land prices, and leases, and the ever-growing encroachment of urbanization in rural lands impact our producers, its profitability and sustainability across the nation. Mr. President, as an expert in the beef field, I really hope that you listen to the unified voice of beef producers across America about your recent comments and this importation change. And I hope that you change your mind for what's not only good for American consumers, but also the confidence in what they buy at the retail counter. And what's also good for the people who are working hard, and so long to create the best beef product in the entire world.